So back to our ducky here, and using our freehand selection, our lasso tools up here, it is just above the magic wand tool. If I click on that, or hold down left click, I can see my three different options: the lasso tool, the polygonal lasso tool, and the magnetic lasso tool. I'm on the magnetic lasso tool, so I'm going to give you a quick, very brief overview of how this works. I'm going to make one click here, and then you're going to see how the points make themselves out and how basically it lassos around the shape that I'm going to get. I like to click every once in a while just to ensure that I get everything, because you see if I go too fast, things start to get a little rough around the edges. Again, I'm just doing this very quickly just to kind of get through this. But here I've got a little bit of a bump, so I want to take some effort to make sure that that works. So this is working pretty well. I'm pretty happy with the way this is going. Now if I click once again at the end, now you see I went from the lasso look to things to this what I like to call ants marching. You can see the thing is entirely selected because of the ants marching. So now I would switch my tool, and now I could move my ducky out, or put my ducky somewhere else, or copy my ducky, go over to another image, paste my ducky, and now he's in Roosevelt Park. Isn't that crazy? That's a thing that happens. You can do that. Or maybe I've got this, and now he's going to be in New Orleans, because duckies love to be traveling around town. But he's still here in my main thing as well. So again, that is the lasso tool. That is very, very helpful. I'm going to deselect, Command D, to get away from him. And there's a couple of other really important things that I'd like to show you. First of all, let's talk about eyes, or multiple selections with the eyes. Say I want to get the eyes here. So what I'm going to do is use my magic wand. I'm going to click on this one. And I've got those eyes. That's good. Great. I've got his eyes there. But now I want to get his other eye as well. I want to do things to both eyes, right? So I go over here and click. Well, now I'm on this eye. How do I get each one? If I hold the shift button down while I go over to click on something similarly colored, now I've got them both. Now I've got them both. Just clicking, just left clicking won't do it. You have to hold down shift in order to add selections. Or if I've got both of these and I only want to play with one, I hold the Option key or the Alt key if you are using a PC, and that gets rid of it. So hold down Option, whoops, do that again, get hue, hold down shift. Yes, now I've got both, but instead maybe I don't like this, so I'll hold down Option and get that, and now I can play with whatever it is I need to play with here. I might change the colors. I just don't know. The sky is the limit on things I can do to my ducky's eyes. Like maybe instead of black, we can make them a different color. Again, just depending on how we feel. Changing the saturation a lot. It's tough to change saturation on black eyes, but here we go. I still managed to do it. Now he's got one purple eye and one black eye. And this is, once again, the beauty and the fun of Photoshop. Adding or subtracting selections, whether it's using the magic wand, whether it's using one of the lasso tools or the marquee tool. If you hold down shift and click, or alt to get rid of it, you'll see a plus and a minus next to whatever it is that you're playing with as well. You'll notice that next to whatever it may be. Super helpful to let you know, like, hey, I'm adding things, or hey, I'm getting rid of things. Lastly, you saw me do this a couple of times with the ducky. Moving a selection, you move selections with the Move tool. The Move tool is the little arrow. To get to that, if you want to use a shortcut, it's the letter V, or it is the topmost tool in your toolbox. Once again, this allows you to move something that you've already used, or will allow you to cut it out. Or if you hold down Alt, it'll allow you to make a copy, like I did with the bill. Let me show you that one last time. But also, I've already mentioned this a bunch of times, deselecting something. If you've got something selected around it and you don't want it selected any longer, just Command D or Control D, and that will deselect what you've been doing. So once again, I've got my ducky up here. He's once again has his different color eye. I'm going to move remember this is my navigator palette. I'm going to move him around. Say I want to get his bill. That's looking pretty good. You know what though, just for fun, I'm going to deselect, Command D. I'm going to run the tolerance up to, let's say 65. Maybe I can get everything in here now. Yeah, that's a little better. And if I go up to my move tool, I can either just move it, and as I went to it, hopefully you saw, hopefully you see there's little scissors next to it. That's going to tell me that I'm about to cut this out as I move it, and now Ducky doesn't have a bill. So maybe, I'm going to Control Z there. Maybe I would like this bill to stay there and go play with something. So again, what I'll do is hold down Option on my Mac. Now you can see the tool has turned into kind of like a little double arrow. And now I'm left clicking and bring it over here. Now Ducky is still completely intact, and I can just play with a bill over here in my own way. Maybe I want to select this and then go back and select this again. So once again, let's get back to my Magic Wand tool. If I hold down Shift, now you can see the plus shows up there. That's letting me know that I can select multiple things at once. And then maybe I don't want to deal with this anymore. So at that point, I hold down Option. Now you can see the little minus next to it. I know it's tiny, but believe me, it's there. And then we're there. And that is all good stuff with selecting and adding selections and subtracting selections. This is all of the stuff that we're going to be dealing with. Let me tell you one last troubleshooting issue that you might run into when dealing with one of your selection tools. Please recall that you have 3 selection tools. Just as a quick review here, you've got your marquee tool, you've got your magic wand tool, and you've got your magnetic lasso tool. The lasso tool can create problems. You know, if you're playing and you're trying to get this and then you're like, oh, this sucks, I don't like this anymore, I want to go over here and click on this, and now I've got this just disaster going on, and now you're trying to click away, but it's not going to let you click away because you're still on that tool, and maybe even now I can't even use my shortcuts. I've just created a mess, and I can't get away. This is horrible. So frustrated, so annoyed, so scared, I'm just going to rifle my laptop, you know, into my dishwasher. Don't do that. It's okay. If you ever come across this issue, all you need to do is double click, left click, right? So right now, hopefully you can hear a little bit of this. And then I've created the ants marching. Now, once again, I just deselect, Command D or Control D. All that stuff goes away, and I can start over. And then I can get all the things that I want. Or again, if I still don't like this, don't go over here, don't freak out, don't panic when things don't work properly. You just double click and then Command D to deselect. But get those ants marching, or get away from those ants marching, and then you're good to go. That's a little troubleshooting thing that I see a lot of new Photoshoppers get when dealing with the magnetic lasso tool. So for now, you guys are new Photoshoppers, but you are well on your way to being experts. And you will be experts by doing exercise number 2 in the book. Good luck, have fun, and I will be around to help.